Hello, everyone. Hope you are doing well. If you're following the green card process, you know how crucial the monthly visa bulletin is, not just for applicants, but for families, employers, and entire communities waiting for news that could change their lives. In this video, we will find out what to expect from the August 2025 visa bulletin, what's likely to move, what might stay stuck, and how you can prepare for what's ahead. If you are interested in this topic, please stay until the end of the video. Whether you're waiting in the EB2 or EB3 employment-based categories, tracking family-sponsored dates, or hoping for a diversity visa, this will help you to prepare. If you are liking this video, please hit the bell button, subscribe, and like it so that you may get updates straight to your smartphone. Before we look ahead, let's quickly review where things stand as of July. The July 2025 visa bulletin brought a mix of hope and frustration. For many, especially those from India and China in the EB2 and EB3 categories, the wait continues to be long and uncertain. The backlogs remain massive, with over 1.2 million employment-based immigrants stuck in the queue as of the last official count. Final action dates for many categories have barely moved, and in some cases retrogression, where dates move backward, has been a real concern. But there's also been some positive movement in select family-based categories, and for certain countries in the diversity visa program. The big question now is, will August bring relief, or will the gridlock continue? To answer that, let's start with what's driving the current trends. According to immigration attorneys and analysts, several factors are shaping the August 2025 predictions. First, the sheer volume of applications, especially from India and China, continues to outpace the number of visas available each year. This demand-supply imbalance is the main reason for the persistent backlogs and slow movement in priority dates. Second, the U.S. government's approach to visa allocation has become more conservative in recent months. There's a strong emphasis on avoiding over-allocation, which could lead to visa number wastage or sudden retrogression later in the fiscal year. This means the State Department is likely to move dates cautiously, especially as we approach the end of the fiscal year in September. So, what are the specific predictions for August 2025? Let's break it down by category, starting with employment-based visas. For the EB1 category, which covers priority workers, the outlook remains relatively stable for most countries except India and China. The final action dates for these two countries have been stuck for months, and experts predict little to no forward movement in August. The backlog is simply too large, and the government appears to be holding back to avoid the risk of exceeding annual limits. For the rest of the world, EB1 remains current, meaning applicants can file as soon as their paperwork is ready. Moving to EB2 and EB3, these are the categories most watched by skilled workers and professionals, especially from India. The July bulletin hinted at possible retrogression for EB3 India, but it didn't materialize. Still, the risk remains. For August, most analysts expect the dates to either hold steady or move only slightly forward, if at all. There's a chance we could see a minor advancement for EB2 India, but the consensus is that significant movement is unlikely until the new fiscal year begins in October. For applicants from China, the situation is similar. Both EB2 and EB3 categories are expected to remain largely static, with only minimal movement possible. The rest of the world, however, continues to see current or near-current dates in these employment-based categories, reflecting lower demand and more available visas. EB4 and EB5 categories, covering special immigrants and investors, are also facing their own challenges. For EB4, which includes religious workers and certain other special immigrants, the backlog is substantial, and the State Department has signaled that no major changes are expected for August. EB5, the investor visa category, remains complicated by country-specific limits and processing delays, but there's hope for some forward movement for countries other than China and India as the fiscal year draws to a close. Turning to family-based categories, the story is a little more mixed. Some categories like F2A, spouses and children of permanent residents, have seen positive movement in recent months and are expected to remain current or nearly current in August. However, the higher preference categories such as F1 and F3 continue to face long waits, particularly for applicants from Mexico and the Philippines. The backlog in these categories is driven by years of high demand and limited annual visa numbers. The diversity visa, or DV lottery, is another area to watch. For August, the cutoff numbers for each region have been published, and there's good news for many applicants. Africa's cutoff is set at 50,000, Asia at 11,000, and Europe at 22,000, with only a few countries facing lower limits due to high demand. This means that a significant number of DV 2025 selectees will be able to proceed with their applications before the fiscal year ends. But what does all this mean for you, the applicant or sponsor? The key takeaway is that patience and preparation are more important than ever. With the government moving cautiously and the risk of retrogression always present, it's critical to keep your documents up to date and be ready to act if your priority date becomes current. For those considering switching categories, such as moving from EB3 to EB1A if you qualify, now is the time to consult an experienced immigration attorney and explore your options. If you're feeling frustrated or anxious about the slow movement, you're not alone. The green card process has always been a test of patience, but the current environment is especially challenging. The good news is that being informed and proactive can make a real difference. Monitor the monthly visa bulletins closely, subscribe to alerts, and don't hesitate to seek guidance from legal experts. If you are eligible to file when your date becomes current, please act promptly, as delays could result in missing your window of opportunity. For participants in the Diversity Visa program, please ensure you monitor your rank number and respond promptly to any requests from the National Visa Center. The cutoff numbers for August mean that many selectees will finally get their chance, but the process can move quickly as the fiscal year wraps up. Looking ahead, many experts believe that the real movement in priority dates will come with the start of the new fiscal year in October. At that time, the State Department often reallocates unused visas from the previous year and makes significant adjustments to the charts. Until then, August is likely to be a month of holding steady, with only minor changes in most categories. But don't lose hope. The immigration landscape is constantly changing, and even minor advancements can create opportunities for thousands of families and professionals. Stay connected, stay informed, and remember that you're part of a global community of people pursuing the American dream. As we wrap up, let's remember that every visa bulletin is more than just numbers and charts. It's about people, families, and futures. Whether you're waiting for your green card, supporting a loved one, or simply following the news, your journey matters. We'll continue to bring you the latest updates, expert insights, and practical advice every month. That's all we have for this bulletin. The U.S. Immigration News Channel provides all necessary visa information and procedures for your U.S. immigration journey. It is important to understand the steps for processing United States immigration, visa application requirements, processing times, forms, fees, and more. We will continue to provide all information about U.S. visitor visas, such as B1 and B2, work visas, such as L1A, L1B, and H1B, student visas, green cards, immigrant visas, EB1, EB2, EB3, EB4, and EB5, and family immigrant visas. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the U.S. Immigration News Channel. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.